Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Rita Berman's Europe book, Meine Reise Durch Europa, and we have a pizza to colour today. Now I did realise after yesterday's video that I hadn't put any white pen on this particular one. I'm okay without putting it on, to be honest, but you might want to add a little bit of shine on your tomatoes and chilli. It's up to you. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to push my book across and we'll come in close to colour this pizza. Yum. I love pizza. But I don't make it very often. I'm rubbish at making like dough and bread, so I never make the base. I tend to, let's try and get you a bit straight. Oh, there we go. I tend to use like a wrap, a flatbread or something like that. I'm just choosing a colour for the dough actually. It's really difficult. I think I'll go for the yellow ochre light to start with. Is that it? Whoops. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out. I found the yellow ochre. There it is. So we're using Castle Art Soft Touch. So yellow ochre light. Now I'm going to apply it really gently because it's not quite the right colour. And we'll sort of mess around a little bit and try and get a good colour. But yes, because I use a flatbread, we don't get a sort of big thick crust. In fact, I always put my filling right to the edge because if it's flatbread it burns. I also can't eat cheese, so it makes it a little bit tricky, although I know traditional pizzas don't have loads of cheese, but we always put tons, or used to put tons of cheese on. But I'm having a think, sorry. Wondering whether there'd be some sort of charred bits, because quite often on a pizza I'm thinking, are these supposed to be like little dark bits? So I'm looking at my browns and thinking maybe the walnut brown, maybe I could just put a little bit on sort of here. I don't know if you can hear that little dog barking. Well, I say little, my neighbours over the back have got a couple of dogs. They used to have one that had a really deep bark. It was adorable, but now they've got two different dogs, so I'm assuming that one got old. But yeah, now I'm going to go back to my yellow ochre light and I'm going to put a little bit darker. I'm just going to sharpen it actually around. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to sharpen. Just dropped my sharpener and it's left a really pretty dust of pencil bits all over the desk. I'm not going to think it's so pretty when I have to clean it. So I'm thinking maybe it'd be a little darker on the edge, because the crust is normally sort of rounded, isn't it? So I'm thinking maybe there'd be a little bit of shadow. Just experimenting really a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Yes, so they got the dog they had before had a lovely bark. These are just a more normal sounding bark. But anyway, it doesn't worry me. I don't mind hearing dogs bark. It's when they're crying and they sound really sad. It bothers me. Even though I'm not a dog fan, it's still not nice, you know. Yeah, my sister's taking her cat to the vets today. He's lost lots of weight and not eating. It was he had thyroid problems and he's started refusing his meds, and he's having an ultrasound because the vet thinks he might have some liver issues. He's a really old cat, so I think she's preparing herself, you know, either for a very expensive vet bill or the worst really. But anyway, we'll see. I think that's looking reasonable. I think I'm going to layer up a bit more, in the mood for just fiddling a bit. Sometimes I just want to get a picture coloured, but today I'm actually home alone and I'm feeling chilled. My boys are both at uni. My husband's gone to work. I just chatted to my dad and my mum, and yeah, my mum was a little bit stressed. She's got to have an operation, but it's she's got a prolapse and the doc wants to operate. That's why she was avoiding going to the doc, because she was scared that that's what he'd say, but she knows that, you know, it'll help her be more comfortable. I'm going to use the burnt ochre for this. I'm thinking that this is tomato, the sort of base, rather than cheese. But I'm thinking, because an Italian pizza, I wouldn't expect, where's the mozzarella? But these are tomatoes, aren't they? But I wouldn't expect it to have all cheese. So I think I'm going to do it in burnt ochre to make it look like a tomato sauce. Pizza sauce. There's a name for it, isn't there? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do it this colour. I don't know what these circles are, but I'll think about that. But yes, she's got a prolapse, so they're like I have actually, but hers is much more worse, I suppose is the word. And although it's not giving her any pain or discomfort at the moment, the doc's like, we need to do something about this before it gets worse. So and he's like, you know, because it's quite bad already, you can need an op. But she's quite scared, but I think she knows that it's going to help, and they're going to potentially go private, because the doc said it'll be 6-month wait for a consultant appointment and then another 9 months for the op. And my dad said, well, you know, can we do it privately? He's been holding on to money because in case they need like ops and things, you know, he knows that private, you can get things done quicker privately. And the doc's like, you know, the consultant, the doc reckoned the consultant would cost about 200 to 300 and the op would be 2,000 to 3,000. And they thought that wasn't too bad, considering, you know, how much quicker it can be done. And although it, as I say, it's not giving her too much pain, any pain, or, you know, too much discomfort, I think just the scary prospect of knowing an op's coming is quite nasty. Now, the last op she had was really nasty, and her recovery took a long time because of the nature of the op. She had a heart valve replaced, so obviously it was a very major, scary op, and so I think it's sort of making her frightened thinking about having one. But obviously, although this is a big operation in the sense of recovery time and things like that, it's not such a serious part of the body, if you know what I mean. So I think, you know, she'll be okay. But it's, you know, it's a frightening thing. This is cadmium orange deep. And I think she may find that it's been limiting her more than she realised, and that once she has it, she'll be a lot better. Last time when she had her heart op, it made such a difference. You know, she was able to move around much faster and freer eventually, you know, obviously to start with, it took time to recover. Yeah, she sped up with her walking. She slowed down again now, but she's got a lot older. The heart op was 15 years ago. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm a little bit nervous and worried for her as well, but I know that that it should be fine. Now we have the tomatoes. I'm trying to think of I want to make them a slightly different colour to the sauce. I'm just going to go over them with this orange, just a little bit, and then have a think. I'm assuming they're tomatoes. That's what they look like to me. They're certainly not mozzarella, that's for sure. Now I'm thinking this centre bit I might do a bit lighter, so I'm just going to do another layer. like that, and then grab the burnt ochre to do. No, I think I want a different colour, or else it's going to just look like the sauce, isn't it? What should we do? Should we do the red ochre? Let me have a look at my swatch dot. Yeah, let's do the red ochre. It's a little bit darker, they'll stand out a bit, and I think that will be good. Because I would expect them to be a little bit darker. I mean, this isn't how they look exactly, but I don't think that's than the sauce, because the sauce would be slightly watered down, wouldn't it? Whereas the actual tomatoes be darker. Obviously this isn't exactly how they look, but they're not drawn exactly how they look either. So I think it'll be okay. Now we've got these heart shapes here, and I'm thinking I'd quite like to do those with this red ochre so that it all sort of stands out, the darker red. I'm going to colour it in quite solidly because I want it to really be quite intense. We can maybe put a bit of white pen on there after. Maybe. I may completely forget. I'm trying to also think about the background colour, because now this sauce looks a little bit patchy to me. What I'm going to do is, when I've done the leaves, which I'm thinking basil, and whatever I decide these dots are, haven't decided yet, I will go over it a little bit again, I think. Now the basil, yesterday we did our basil quite pale. Is that the right colour? That was permanent green, wasn't it? I think that is the nearest colour we have. I do think it could be slightly darker, but there isn't, you know, it wouldn't be as dark as this, so I think I'm going to use this again. And I'm going to do all the leaves in this same colour. So like I did yesterday, I'm going to darken that base and do less towards the middle. I've been doing a Chris Cheng video this morning. My friend Mary, I've been going on about doing one for ages, and I've got a day to myself today, and my friend Mary said, go on, you've got to do it today. And she then apologised for doing her mom voice, even though she was typing. It was quite funny, but I thought, yeah, why not? So I made a little start on it. Sometimes I find hers a little tricky, because she gets a bit ahead and sometimes does things and I don't notice she's done it, and then I forget how it's done. You know, maybe she would just do these leaves and then go on and they would suddenly appear coloured, you know. But I've been managing to follow this one really well. It's Magical Jungle. It's the hummingbirds page. There's 2 videos. I'm not even halfway through the first one yet. I've done a few hours worth of work on it, I think. Maybe an hour. I don't know. But it always takes me longer, because not only because she doesn't colour everything on camera, so you have to sort of catch up, but I do have to keep pausing. I am as fast as her, but if I look at the video and colour, then I end up colouring even more out of the lines than normal. But I'm sure you all know that. If you colour along with me, you'll probably do exactly the same. Pause a little bit and catch up. But because you know how to do each of these leaves, I'm going to be doing them the same way. You could look away and colour them. Let me have a look. I'm just going to go and into each corner and just put a little bit extra. Give you a chance to catch up. Unless you feel like you want to do this as well, of course. Now I'm thinking that those little green bits might be thyme, because we've got some rosemary here which I'm pondering what to do with, because I'd like it to be green, but obviously it's black. Colouring over black is not the easiest, but I think I will grab, did I use the hooker's green for this one? I can't remember. Hang on, let me look back at my notes. I did use the hookers, but it might have been for that. It doesn't matter, it's near enough, and we don't want it always to be identical. There's the hooker screen. I'm going to just use the hooker screen over the top of this and hope that it sort of shows up a bit more green. Oh, there we go. Quite difficult covering a black print with a pencil, but I think it does look a little more green, so that's okay. Now the little dots of time. Time's quite dark. I might use the chrome green. Let's give it a sharpen. I'm not really sure exactly what colour it would be, but it is different to the other colours that we have used. You might know what this is and sort of think, no, you've done that wrong. That really isn't a scattering of time leaves, it's something else. So, you know, if you know better, you know, do your own thing. But I really don't think it's cheese. But I think pizzas need cheese. But I don't even eat cheese. So what I actually do on mine is I use chickpeas. This is the burnt ochre. I'm going to go over the sauce again. I'm sort of taking notice here of the darker areas that Rita's gone over with the sort of dots here, but I'm trying to just go over all of it because it's a little bit patchy. Now that I've coloured in all the items, I can see the areas that I've missed. Yeah, I use chickpeas and I just scatter them on top instead, and then I get protein, and I like the sort of creaminess that the chickpeas give. You could use tofu as well, but I don't. It doesn't have the same flavour, or doesn't really have any flavour. You could add some flavour. You know, you can marinate tofu. If you squeeze out all the liquid from it, you can press it under a. What I do is I get a chopping board, 2 chopping boards, put one underneath and one on top, and my tofu in the middle. And then I put a really heavy frying pan on top, and then pile a few saucepans in it to push it down, and then it squeezes all the liquid out for you, and then just leave that for a little while. Background. Now I was thinking a sort of yellowy colour, but we've got a yellow in our first picture, so maybe we want something slightly different. Don't really want green or orange or any of those colours though, unless we do a really light peachy colour. Would that complement? I think it might work. Let me have a look at what they look like. Are they a bit too pinky? I think the cadmium orange light is going to work. Where is that? There it is. I think the coral peach and tangerine have a little bit too much pink in them to work, but I think this one will. So I'm going to do the whole of the background with just a gentle layer of this first, and then think about what I'm going to do in the corner to, you know, for that slightly darker bit. I like the hearts, very appropriate as we're coming up to Valentine's. I'm going to actually pause this series for a few days to, I'm not sure how many days yet, to fit in a few Valentine's-y type pictures. I've already coloured some actually because I want to put them up for you on Facebook and Instagram just for a bit of inspiration. What have I done? There's a Matchstick Mouse springtime picture where she's had a delivery of some roses, and there's hearts and things. It's a lovely one. And actually Morgan O'Brien I am back now. That was my doorbell, you probably heard. And my new boots came. I'm just put them on to try them on to see how they are. I'm just darkening this a little bit. We want to be able to see that it's here. Yeah, I had one pair of Docs which I'd ordered, which were like a Chelsea boot, which is a sort of slip-on with elastic on the ankles, and those were very uncomfortable, and I sent them back. But this pair I ordered instead. These are more like a traditional Doc Marten boot, lace-up ankle boot, but they are soft leather, so that apparently you don't have to break them in. Now I have to break in every shoe, so yes, I'll have to break it in. But I've had these before. I'm going to use the burnt sienna. I think that's it. Yeah, to do sort of darker brown in the corners and things. So I had some really thick socks on. I had to take those off. I couldn't, they were far too tight on the width with those on, but now I've got a thin pair of socks on. They feel okay, but I'm just going to wear them. I haven't done them up. I'm just going to wear, well, I've done them up enough so I don't fall over the laces. I'm going to just wear them around the house a little bit and see how they feel. The other ones were definitely tighter than these, so we'll see. And awkward to get on and off. I hadn't really thought about it. I thought it would be easier to get them on and off because of the lack of laces, but actually trying to yank them on and off, pull them on, was really hard. Whereas with the laces you can, of course, just loosen them to slip your feet in and out. I mean, it's harder when they're new anyway. Okay, I'm going to go back to my cadmium orange line and just sort of blend that in. Not with the shadow, I'm just going to go over the top of the shadow just to darken it a little bit. But with the corners, I'm just going to blend them in a little bit. And by blending them in, what I mean is I'm going to go over it all, but in a scumbling motion, like round and round, and do a little less and less as we go in, so that it just sort of tapers off. That's the plan. Whether it looks like that or not, I don't know. But I'm trying to decide whether to do a different background for each of these items. Thing is, if I do a couple the same, then I'll probably have to do more than one the same. But if I do different shades, so this one is obviously a green, you know, if I did a bluey green, which was a bit different to that, then maybe that would be okay. You know, I won't do any that are absolutely identical. Oh, my tablet's gone off. I've been in here so long. Just leave it on so that if my children need me, they can chat, but they're in lessons. They seem perfectly happy this morning. I need to tell them about their grands op, but I thought I would tell them in person rather than on Messenger, because it's nothing to worry about, but I want to make sure they don't worry about it. No, I don't think they will, but it just doesn't feel the right way to tell someone something, you know. So there we go. I think I'm happy with that. You could fiddle faddle more if you feel you want to. I am going to use the little white on those hearts though. I've got my Posca here. I assume I used that for the first one, yeah. So I'm going to put some on my tomatoes. I know I should have done it yesterday, just forgot. There we go. And then I'm a bit stuck with the chilli because it's got those lines, but I'll put a little bit there. That's all. And then we'll do this one. There we go. I'm thinking all on the same side, just up in the corner. Pen doesn't want to write now. Hang on, let me give it a shake. I did, my friend Kylie has bought a brand new type of pen. Well, it's a Sakura Deco, or I can't remember what it exactly was called. It's really expensive. I think it was like £13 to buy it here. I don't know what she paid in Australia, but she said she liked it because it didn't clog. But I'm going to wait and see how she feels long term, because I find that most pens don't clog initially and then they begin to clog a bit later. So I'm hoping that it's going to work really well for her, because, you know, she paid a lot of money, but we'll have to see. Anyway, there is my pizza done. I could put a bit of shine on the tomatoes. I think I'm sort of tempted to. There and there and there, just because we're using our white pen, I feel like maybe it needs to be on a few bits. But there it is. Pizza. We got pasta to colour next, so that'll be nice. Oh, I'm pleased to say these shoes do feel more comfortable than the other pair. They're still not 100% comfortable, but Doc Martens never are, and new shoes never are for me. But we'll see. I'm going to go and get a drink and decide whether to keep them, or, well, I'll keep wearing them and see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really super day, and happy colouring.